Homeschooling is on the rise as more parents want greater say over their kids' education. It started during the pandemic when schools were pushing remote learning, and it's now accelerating again. Parents are voicing concerns over schools teaching biased curriculums and indoctrinating students rather than focusing on useful skills like math, science, and reading. Murphy, you got a gaggle of kids over there. I don't know if you ever homeschooled them, but you seem like the kind of guy who's willing to kind of be out of step with the broader culture sometimes. What do you think about all this?
So homeschool, no, I've never done that, but I don't mind saying we raised our kids in the city, in private schools in the city until COVID, and during COVID, the private New York City schools got completely out of whack political-wise. So my kids were fine with it, and we thought it was best, so we moved to a less politicized area of New York.
Okay. I know you homeschool Friday, Jackie, so you are invested in this. But it's kind of interesting.
It's a disaster.
That's not easy to do. I'm with you on that. Everybody kind of understood why people were doing it during COVID. Look, we got the window into the schools. It was all messed up. Take your kids home. But even after that's done, people are still moving in this direction. Does that surprise you?
No, not at all, because they see what's happening in schools and they don't want their kids to be exposed to that. I understand 100%, and you're not the only person who's moved to greener pastures as a result of that. Carol Markowitz was on the other day during the pandemic. She went down to Florida, and she was talking about how substantially better it is, how, the unions are a little involved there, but certainly not as much as they are here. So as an alternative for parents, I get it, but I do have to step back and say, I like the idea of school. I like kids socializing together, learning together in that setting for discipline purposes. I think it's important for the parents not to have the responsibility of homeschooling them. That's a huge burden for somebody who hasn't been trained to be an educator. And so I asked myself why our system has once again gotten so out of whack, so polarized, to the point where people feel they have to pull their kids out of school. We've got to take each system, whether we're talking about healthcare, whether we're talking about schooling or anything else, and just take a step back and try to retool things to get back on track. Because if we stay on this track, we're going down the Bernie Sanders line, and you're chipping away at it slowly but surely.
And a lot, we talk about homeschooling. I will say a lot of people who do it, Dagan, are doing it increasingly in like a cooperative environment where it's actually a bunch of kids doing something once or twice a week. They've got maybe a parent who's specialized teaching. So everybody kind of says, oh, are they going to be socialized? Will they know how to make friends? Yes, they will, because they do this often in community. And I think that's part of the evolution of where this is going.
And it will starve the teachers' unions. It will starve the worst cities, towns, and municipalities who have done the worst job at educating our nation's children. And I just find that the prospect of that flippantastic. Because if you look at the budget of New York City as one example, the biggest budget item is the education system.
Highest cost to educate per student, I believe, in the country.
So that's the biggest cost or revenue suck. It's a grift. It's the teachers' unions and then the city university.
Taylor, the only thing I say as a family that's homeschooled our kids for a very long time,
give me all the advice.
It's really hard.
It
takes a ton of work. Ask my wife. I haven't done as much of it. She did most of it. It's really hard.
So my husband and I have talked a lot about this because I have a 2-year-old. We're thinking about pre-K 3, pre-K 4, kindergarten. If financially one of us could stay home, we would homeschool. Both of us need to be in the workforce, so that's a conversation we can't entertain right now. But I love it for a few reasons. Number one, took my daughter to the public library for a reading. It happened to be Drag Queen Reading Day.
Seriously?
If that's happening at the public library for a 2-year-old, what is going on at the public the pre-K 3?
Right.
Not happening. So I'm down to private school or Catholic school, which I love. Number two, what I love about it, efficiency. I can do at homeschool in 2 hours what it takes the school to do in 5, which means I get an extra 3 hours to run outside and play, to jump in leaves, to climb a tree, to
build a fort,
play with me. outsource them to a co-op, go run around with some kids. So efficiency, that's why I love it.
Yeah, you can do it faster, there's no question. In New York City, you're not super popular with the folks in the city who are spending hundreds of thousands on private school for their kids, but it is good for the family.
I'll
I
go
would
into
say.
Central Park and build a fort with y'all.
Thank you.
I just can't believe they're still doing
It
Drag
is.
Queen Story Hour.
Yep.
Oh, you should go to a public library.
I cannot
sometime.
believe it.
That's the best thing they're doing.